But Glenn Close joins us right now. And Glenn, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I've played a lawyer, but I've never played an investor.
Well, you play one in real life. You've been coming here for what, almost a decade?
Yes, I think so. I think the first time I came was about 10 years ago.
Why?
Well, I think I was with somebody who I was a friend of Warren's, and she invited me to come, and so I was able to meet Warren and Charlie the very first time I was here, and go to some dinners that they're, and I think they're a phenomenon. I mean, it's truly phenomenal what goes on here, and it's, as an actor, they're one of the best stand-up duos ever. They have a wonderful dynamic. And, this great insight into what's going on in the country and the world, financially and otherwise.
What did you think of what you heard today? What kind of jumped out at you as things that you're going to take home?
Well, number one, I think the thing that always impresses me coming here is the respect that they have for their investors. And when it starts at 6 or 6:30 in the morning and people are streaming into the building, and there are people from all over of this country, all over Nebraska, Nebraska, and they're just ordinary people. And I think they're made to feel that they're part of something important. And you don't ever feel that they're talking down to anyone. They honestly want to try to explain as best they can their vision, their reasons for what they do. And it's absolutely fascinating. And Warren's simplicity, I think he's a simple man with a mind like a computer. I mean, he is. I mean, I think one of the great minds, and somebody who was the Oracle of Omaha, and somebody that we really love as a human being as well as a businessman.
I always sit here and I think that they take the most complex things and make them sound so easy. And then I walk out and maybe a few weeks later I think, well, wait a second, it's not as easy as I thought it was. But
yeah.
Have you ever changed anything about how you invest or what you put your money in based on what you've heard here?
I wish I had the kind of money that you need to really seriously invest. Well, actually, that's not true. I'm very conservative. And with what I have, I would rather, hang on to something that, and rather than, you're talking to the wrong person. But, I'm a Yankee. Yeah. We're in for the long haul.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they, of course, are very satisfied at the moment to have a lot of cash, have a cushion, and earn a little bit on it now versus what they could do a little while ago. So I think a lot of individuals are in that situation too. Did you take anything from Warren's comments about the media business, the entertainment business, and how it's not all that great and predictable, and maybe not too clear on its future?
That's the conversation now. Yeah. We're in the middle of a writer's strike.
Yeah.
I, as an actor, I feel like we're in the Wild West. All the rules are changing, and you want to protect yourself. You want to protect your craft. And I feel very strongly about that. And I think the more we look at screens, the more we get away from looking into two eyes and really feeling each other's humanity. And the more you choose somebody from just a self-made video, rather than letting the actor walk into the room. And it's not just about the part, but it's about who they are and how, where they are in their craft. I think that's incredibly important.
You sound like you're on the side of the writers who are right now saying, wait, we want to make sure that we're protected as the world changes and moves towards streaming, and that we're still going to get paid for part of this.
Yeah, I'm certainly on their side, yeah.
Artificial intelligence is roiling all types of industries right now. It's certainly upending business we work in, lots of other places we've seen it, but what about the business of Hollywood? Is that
it's
changing
very
things there
frightening.
too?
Well, I've done a number of movies now where you go into a little booth that's 360-degree camera, and you're asked to do 30 different expressions. Smile.
Wow.
And then stand like this, and they could totally recreate me.
Yeah.
They could have an AI version of me. So last time I called up my lawyer and said, what happens to all those images
Right.
after, what do they do with them? They said, well, they
what do
store
you get
them.
paid off of it?
Yeah, well, they can't. Supposedly they can't use it without your permission, but it's still, to go like this and like, ooh, and then you think, I can do that in person. And I hope if you need it enough to go into that file, get me to do it.
Well, and of course, that's one of the big gulfs between the writers and the industry in the studios right now, too, is the writers just said, look, promise us you're not going to just give us a lump of AI-generated script and tell us to fix it. And the studios wouldn't commit to it. They just said, we'll meet every year to figure it out.
I don't know. I think the thing that I find frightening is that we don't even know about our brains before we're letting loose this incredibly powerful technology. And we know the amount of depression, the amount of mental health issues that are at large in the life now. Well, all this there's just so much we can take in and deal with, I think.